Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome back. We are live again on this Friday evening for the Friday Night Social. We've still got Carl in Washington, we've got Chris, we've got Alan in Melbourne, early morning for him, and we've got Tom. Right, part two. This might be a quick one, but it might not be. What we're going to talk about is CAS, and as you are aware, I don't know where you've been, but obviously City won their appeal at CAS, and what we were expecting for CAS to, as they stated, will release the full findings of the investigation, which would then go into all the details surrounding the reason for the fine, reason why they ruled against UEFA and didn't ban Man City for 2 years, which what UEFA wanted. And all this was going to be in the public domain that we could all read. And that was one of the things when I did the first live log as the news broke that City had won their appeal at CAS. My next thoughts were I wanted to read what the full account was, and that way we would understand exactly the reasons why the verdict was given. Well, we thought it would have come out last week. Nothing. We thought it would have come out this week. Nothing. And rumours were from certain, accounts on Twitter. It'll be tomorrow. That was yesterday. Nothing. It'll be maybe today. Nothing. It's Friday evening, and CAS have still not released the full findings of the report. Now, rumours, and these are rumours, that UEFA wanted certain elements of the findings redacted. Now, where the law stands on it, I'm not too sure. There are people who say that they're allowed to do that. There are others who say that they can't. But the rumours are also that City have said they want the full report to be published. No redactions, no nothing. They want it to be published. Well, still nothing. So, Carl, come to you first. What are your thoughts on what's going on?
Innocent, innocent, innocent. That's all I care about. But to be fair, it doesn't surprise me when this happens because, I mean, the fact that City were proven innocent after 18 months of investigation by the media and by UEFA tells you something was not either credible or correct with the content of the actual investigation, which nobody wants to get out into the open, especially UEFA. But we'll see. We're all waiting for the report. I want to read the report. I'm anxious to figure out exactly what happened in the discussions and the debate and the argument, just for history purposes. That's all. But as far as I'm concerned, Andy, we're innocent, and we can move on to the next stuff. That's all I care about. It's almost like the media are more intent on looking at the details of the report than anybody else is. The fans don't really care. I don't really care that much for it. As long as you.
I do because I want to see the lengths that the likes of somebody, Uwe Rosler's just said, UEFA are scared of being exposed as the criminals they are. That's what I want to do after years and years and years of persecution against my club and smear campaigns and everything else. I want the truth to come out. As much as it's great that we're not going to be banned, but for me, that's not enough. I want to know why they have gone after us, why they have persecuted Man City. I want to know the reasons behind it.
But my argument is we know why, Andy. We all know why, and the City fans know why, right? We can look at the circumstantial evidence behind why they went after us, and we know why. The issue is that the media are looking for a way to say, aha, well, City got off on a technicality. It was time barred. It was past the statute of limitations. And that's not going to change their mind. The report's not going to change their mind or how they write articles or how they talk about us in the media or how they don't award our players any awards. It's not going to change that, Andy. Not in this generation. So at the end of the day, what matters to me is the fact that we can play in the Champions League, we can keep our players, and we can spend the money that we need to spend.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm not surprised it's not out yet, Andy. I'm not sure about timescales on things like this. I know that in criminal courts they can be, a lot longer, years before you find anything out. So I'm not if there's redactions needed by UEFA, then I don't think you're going to find out. I don't think you will find out. And if you get the whole report, Andy, I don't think you'll find out what is the reason they went after us. I think it will just be straight to the point sort of stuff. I mean, I read the one that got kicked out when they said we were too early going with it, and that was pages worth of reading before, and that was on something that didn't go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So I think it obviously is it feels good as a City fan to know that City don't want anything redacted. That means that they feel very confident about what was said during that meeting, and that we've got nothing to hide. And if we haven't got anything to hide, that'd be great to have some sort of indication. But my gut tells me that UEFA have done something. I'm not even going to say that they've done anything dodgy here. I think they've just banned us on a whim, basically. Banned us for whatever they could because of the cartel clubs. And I think threats that are made to UEFA by them are probably the reasons why we did get the ban in the first place. I won't be surprised, mate, if we don't hear anything for another couple of weeks yet. I think maybe even COVID might have some sort of actions, people working there. I imagine it'll be a bare minimum staff there and stuff like that. But we were found innocent. I'm like you, Andy. I'd like to read it because that's just the kind of person I am. But I don't think we'll get the answers.
Interesting. We've got Lankow says at the end of the day, no matter what comes out in the founding, we will still be cheats, and we as fans won't care. All we'll care about is watching the team that we love. We've talked about CAS at length on this channel, and one of the biggest things that came out from Alan, and I think Martin said it as well, was the fact of they don't want to be referred to as cheats. So let's just see if there's any more comments before I come to Alan. What's he got to say? He says only one party needs to object to the details being released, and at this time it's clearly UEFA that are objecting. Martin is on. Martin says they banned us on the Der Spiegel article, nothing more. Ray firmly says witch hunt will never end, and this is the thing. Sean Fogarty said part 3 live. Yes, it is live, mate. After this one, we'll have a quick break and we'll be back for part 3, where we're talking about player of the season and the Norwich lineup. Blue Heart says the Mafia never like being exposed. They don't. Leonard says, I think UEFA is bitter about City's dominance. CAS showed sensibility. I agree with that one. Let's see, any more? What's this one here? Shadow Rundown says, UEFA will bribe us to keep quiet about it and make sure VAR makes us win the Champions League now. Hey, let's hope so, mate. I really do hope so. Oh, God, somebody else is just moaning here, but I'll just block him off the channel anyway. We'll come to Alan. Alan, how are you, mate? Go on. This
right, yeah.
Something that we and Steve have.
I'm like you. I'm like you, Andy. I'd like to read the minutes from the case, from the CAS case, in full. And as long as it stays away from the open market for people to read, there will always be people slating us, saying you got off on a technicality, all this sort of stuff. And there's always doubt, and it's creating doubt for everyone to see. If it came out and we found out all the information we need, even things in there that we don't want to see, as City fans, we have a right to see it. It's been going on for 2.5 years where we've been slated from every single person, the press, media, opposition fans, everybody have had a go at us. Okay, and they're still having a go at us now. It's calmed down a bit in this last week, which that's just time. Initially, I think there was a shock there, but I think I'm like you, Andy. I want to see it because I want to read it and understand what's happening. There is going to be things in there that we don't want to read, as far as City fans. There's bound to be, but there's also things in there that we want to read, i.e., what UEFA have done wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think as a fan who protects my club to the hilt, we have a right to see if City have made some mistakes. And because when people make mistakes, we've got to make sure that it never happens again. And the City fans, I've got a right to say to the club, look, you made these mistakes. Whilst we can't do anything about what's happened in the past, but we certainly can make sure it doesn't happen in the future. And I think that's very, very important.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring up a couple of comments, and we'll come back for any more comments. That's perfectly fine. Before I come to Tom, I am going to bring up some comments. These are comments from fans, not Man City Fan TV. So please keep that in mind. These are fans' comments, and the first one says from Centurion 100 points says, "I have a feeling that Liverpool and Bayern are behind the hacking documents." Maybe that's a question I'll ask you lot. Iona Beat says, as long as we are legally proven that we ain't cheats, that's all that matters to me. Good one here from Roberto Blondie. We've not seen you on the channel for a while, mate. Good to have you back. He says the hateful eight plus the frightened others force UEFA's hand. So they went into this with allegations already paid for, but the time barring gives them some sense of impropriety on our being. That's a really good point. This is my point on it. It's almost like, well, you got away with it because you were time barred. Well, then fine. Publish the whole details. And if there were things that were incriminated in there that CAS would have gone, if it wasn't time barred, we would definitely have looked at that. That's the type of stuff I'd like to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So show it. Centurions 100 points says, as City fans, we have a right to know the truth. We've been through thick and thin. I spend a lot of time slating opposition fans on YouTube and Facebook. Roberto Blondie says, Joe Smith, owners are amazing. I know they did what they had to in years gone, and we paid the price, but as of now, they are impeccable. Somebody else was mentioned, and we're going to talk about Koulibaly a bit late. Come on, catch up. Koulibaly was in part one. Go over on the channel. We already done a whole transfer. If you've not seen it, go over and watch part one. It's on the channel now. Kiam's on. He says, we still need to know who paid the email hacker, which clubs were behind it. And this is one that I am absolutely 100% with Kiam on. And I posted it on Twitter. Me and Kiam talked about it on Twitter. We've asked journalists. I've copied in journalists. All of these things we've asked and said. Me and Kiam, two journalists, have said, who's behind it? Who is behind it? That's what we want to know. Not one single journalist has ever replied to us on Twitter. Not one. And that's going back since probably the Tuesday after the Monday hearing, when it was told that City were not guilty of the charges brought against us by UEFA. Nobody. Not a single journalist has replied to it. They love talking on Twitter. They love telling us all about how we're guilty. Not one single person has even commented on that. Blue Heart says, I trusted the club and they got proof correct. I don't need proof of anything more that we're honest. One other comment here. What do you think of the Liga president constantly calling us out for his cheating? Well, you're on about Senor Tabas. Senor Tabas, well, apparently he's on his way out. And maybe that's target number one for Man City. It looks like he could be on his way out as the La Liga president. So we'll wait and keep a close eye on that type of thing.
He might have to attend court as well for slander as well.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what's happening with that one. Also, hi Andy, mate. Great to be back, says Roberto Blondie. Cass, I know it's not your... I know you're one that you're not really into financial stuff, but have you got any comments on the casting, Tom?
Yeah, I'd like to read about what's been said. You know, why were we accused in the first place, and what UEFA have done. You know, have you seen Martin's comments? Good on Chris out as well. That's not very nice, is it? Oh, he's got all his targets. That's not very nice, is it?
What's he doing here? Should we?
Chris out, Alan out. What's going on here? Yeah.
We'll just put him in a timeout. There you go. He's in a timeout. He'll like that. He can go on his pink cocktail. He can have another pink cocktail.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank
you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous in ruining my my comments there. Absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
Needs to set an example to others. So yeah, I'd like to see what obviously is being said, all the information. But other than that, really, I can't really say much more on it because I don't know the ins and outs of everything. But it'd be interesting to see all the information that they do release, if they ever release it. And like Chris said, it could take a while. It wouldn't surprise me if we get it after the Champions League's finished, because that could be one thing that UEFA are trying to hold. But we'll just see if it comes out. Then it'll be interesting to see. But we'll just have to see what happens, really.
Somebody else, Alan, you want to say something?
No, I'm all right. It's at the end of the day, we just want to see that. I like to see the truth, and then people then can. The press will nitpick it, and they'll pick out little glimmers and blame it. But what you got to remember is when the actual verdict came out, all the press, including Sky News, came out and said City have still been fined 10 million. Not what for. It'll be fined 10 million. So they paint a picture, the headline picture, which people believe. So to them, we're guilty because they never ever gave a reason on TV or in the press what that 10 million was for, and we're having to justify it to our own networks what that 10 million was for. But it just shows me there's an incredible bias against Manchester City, and it has been for a long, long time.
Yeah, we know what the interim cast's decision was on their website was we weren't cooperating enough with the CFCB, so that's the reason for the 10 million. But that's not enough for the. I think the fact that they said that the fine was reduced from 30 million to 10 million is that wording suggests that we still did something wrong, and that's all opposition fans use. They're not interested in anything else. Carl?
Yeah, Andy, and the final note, if it does come out, I can guarantee it's going to be redacted, heavily redacted, to the point where it becomes useless. That's what's going to end up happening. You won't see the full arguments on both UEFA and City. At least on UEFA side, it's going to be redacted heavily.
Yeah, well, Leonard says, Andy, our chairman, Khaldoon, is very diplomatic and he will be keeping whatever a C is. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Let's just see anything else. Iona Beats thinks that Martin has had one or two too many girly drinks. Martin, he probably has. It's a shame I can't bring up some of the things he's been posting to me on there. And you'd be able to see his girly drinks. But Leonard against Andy, our chairman, is very diplomatic, and he will be keeping a close relationship with his enemy, UEFA. Yeah, I mean, that's always a good tactic, hence why Calvin immediately, which showed class, didn't it? He rang Ceferin, and the rumours were that he talked to Ceferin about the fact that, we don't know what he talked about. They were speculating it was, look, leave us alone, blah, blah, blah. Let's put this to one side. If you don't, we'll come after you with full guns blazing. You've seen the might of Man City and our lawyers. If we want to take this further, we can do. But if you want to put it to one side, we're happy to do that. But we'll wait and see. Uwe Rosler said it's obvious that UEFA are hiding the truth here, not City. That's why we're talking about it. Kian says, what's happened to Duncan Castles? I don't know. I'll ask the guys. Anybody? Have you seen Duncan Castles, Carl?
Nope.
No.
He must be hiding in a hole somewhere.
Chris, have you seen him?
No, and I don't want to either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Alan, is he out in Melbourne?
He's not out here. He might be writing on the AFL. I don't know. No idea. He'll be up in Queensland if he is.
Tom?
No, not seen him over in Yorkshire.
No, he's not in Yorkshire either. So what happened to Duncan Castles? Yorkshire.
Yeah.
No idea, mate. No idea, mate. But he ain't in Yorkshire.
Aye.
Blue Heart says Mr. Gill must be wearing his brown underpants. Yeah, him and Rick Parry and the rest of them. Anything else here? What's this? The thing is, the case will be on record if they come after us again. We've got evidence now. That's a very good point, Blue Heart. Is that is a really, really good point that's been made there by Blue Heart, one of the regulars on Man City Fan TV. Lovely guy, knows his stuff, knows his football, not afraid to speak out as well. Against us, against me. He's come out against me on many occasions, even face to face. So I always respect his comments. Good point that if they do heavily redact the released cast statement, well, I'm sure City will have a full transcript of, I'm assuming they will be given access to a full transcript of what was redacted, because I'm sure cast can't just release a redacted version without City knowing exactly what was redacted.
Absolutely, it needs to be approved.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a very good point, Blue Heart, that you come up with there. What's this one here? Oh, not that. Sorry, a big jump there. Niall has a red. There's a clear media bias against you lot. Let's hope faith is restored and KDB gets the PFA Player of the Year. Well, that's something we're going to talk about very shortly in part 3. But I'm just going to go through the last couple of comments. What we'll do is we'll have a quick break and we'll come back for part 3. What we got here, Colin Pollock says, this whole saga regarding FFP has been poorly reported from day one. Just biased journalists making assumptions with no basis. Craig Howell says, there was no case to answer in a real court of law. The problem with the UEFA is they are judge, jury and executioner. CAS reviewed the case and found in our favour, so why have we been fined? Which, Craig, we know the initial reasons why, but we'd like to know the full facts as to why. What did City do to, stall the investigation by the CFCB, or what led City to not cooperate as much? We know all the media reasons why. Blue Heart says, I love Man City Fan TV, but I banned you from the Champions League. Don't know what that's all about. Juve says, the truth is that our opponents cheated off the field to stop us and they failed miserably. Right, anybody, have you got anything else you want to add about the CAS thing? Or are you fed up of it? Have you had enough of it? Are you really bothered about what's really in the report?
I believe Marty's now going to be head of CAS.
He's back. Hold on. No matter what the opposition think, we know the truth, and they are now getting scared. Shine that trophy up, as we will be back in May to take it away.
Bold statement.
It is. Leonard says, I think this case is over. City are already and self-sufficient. Yeah, I agree too. Guys, that's just a very quick live bit about CAS. Give us your... Are you bothered? Or are you like me? Oh, 1 second. Are we getting a CAS banner? Maybe that's Man City Fan TV. Maybe we will, Blue Heart. Maybe we will. Maybe that's something we'll look into and get it. But yeah, are you bothered? Are you not bothered? Give us your comments below if you're watching this back tomorrow. But yeah, CAS, we're still waiting for it. Nothing has come out. We know UEFA have asked, allegedly, have asked for elements to be redacted. City have said, allegedly, we don't want anything redacted. We want it published, and we'll wait and see what next week brings on the whole CAS final report. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget, go over, for those who have been saying, what about Koulibaly? Check out one. We did all that about an hour ago. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Check us out in about 10 minutes' time. We'll be back for part 3. live, where we're talking about Player of the Season, which was announced, Football Writers. Talk about the Premier League Player of the Season, and we'll talk about the Norwich lineup for Sunday. But anyway, take care. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, 10 minutes time, we'll be back with you.